So Hasan Piker, the streamer and nephew of the Young Turks host Cenk Uygur, got himself into a big scandal recently where he was doing a live stream and his dog went to go and like move off the bed behind him, and he, by all appearances, shocked the dog. And a lot of us saw that and are very disgusted by the mistreatment of the animal. I've always had smaller dogs, so I've never had to, use any of that kind of stuff to rein them in. I can just pick them up, whatever. But I would imagine that if he was outside, I think the dog's name is Kaya. If he was outside with the dog, and let's say this rather large dog attacked some person, or another pet, another animal, if he shocked the dog in that instance, I guarantee most people would be like, all right, well, whatever, that was expected, that's called for. He's trying to prevent it from doing something that could be, damaging to others. But this is actually a really good story in terms of demonstrating what I really despise about content creators and their like turning of living beings into props. There are a lot of channels on YouTube, some of which have been busted for having children who are basically just along for the ride. They get recorded all day long doing whatever, for basically for just content farming. Hey, Dad, here's a recording of your son or your daughter, going and finding out that you ripped off the arms of their toy. Just that kind of stuff. And with this dog, we have a recording of Hasan admitting that he tied it to his bed for hours on end so it could get used to just sitting on the bed for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, however long it takes him to complete his stupid streams. And I really think when you hear a story like that, it kind of shows you that he didn't really get this dog for the sake of wanting companionship, go out and play with it. It's just there to boost his public image. Oh, look, he has a very well-behaved dog, and it cares about him because it sits in that same spot in the room with him all day long. It's like, no, he's trained it. He's literally bound it like a damn prisoner to that bed of his in the past to get it used to just being in this one spot all day. Which again goes back to that same thing of what's the point of even having, pets, children, whatever, if you're not going to take care of them or do anything with them. But with these content creators, their purpose of having those accessories is to make themselves look better, right? I have this dog and it loves me so much, that's why it's in the room with me. No, you have that dog so you can mistreat it, when the cameras are off, and this is one of the few occasions where you actually got caught. But I guess what I'm kind of having the biggest trouble with is that I've never been a fan of Hasan at all. Like, I've never understood what his appeal was to left-wing people. I look at him and I just see a guy who's overpaid, sitting in a room all day long making what I feel is lazy content, to sit there for just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours watching other people's videos in a room. I've never understood why that's something that he should be paid millions of dollars for. I've never found his commentary to be insightful. I have found a lot of his commentary to be very disgusting, right? Him saying that the U.S. deserved 9/11 and making fun of, what was that, Dan Crenshaw, the congressman's appearance. He's a guy that I've never had any affinity for, which is why when I think about my own lack of liking of him, and then also the fact that he has been called out for various screwed up things that he has said in the past or done in the past, I can't really see where the dog thing, why this is, the straw that's going to break the camel's back, so to speak. I know a lot of people like animals, myself included, but I would have imagined if he was going to seriously be dethroned and people were going to just stop watching him in droves and finally be done with him, that it would have happened in these prior instances. So he's just another example of the stuff I don't like in content creators. If you're gonna own pets, if you're gonna have children, I think you should have those things if you actually want to take care of them and do things relating to them that is more than just whatever's on camera. And I feel really bad for the dog, because if you go and watch that footage, you can tell that she was very hurt by that shock, like the way that she jumps up and hollers out. You know, you if you watch enough of his content, like I've seen clips of it here and there, this is not an animal that like just, is like shrieking regularly. So to hear it exclaim in pain to such a degree, it really shows you the magnitude of like how far he's willing to punish his animal. It's all very disgusting.